High win percentage trading. That's what today's topic is about. We're talking about high win percentage trading. I made videos on this before, but gonna add new ideas, new learnings. I just had a stretch where I won 14 out of 16 trades, almost 90% win rate. Is that sustainable? Is that something that can be continued? Well, I intend to do it. Winning 90% almost was intentional. You get to choose what you want to do in trading. If you want to have a high win percentage, if you want to have a high risk reward, if you want to be more balanced. So it is your choice what you want to do. But let me first make the case for high win percentage. Most of my trading has been, most of the time I've spent trading has been low win percentage, high risk reward, going for a lot of home runs. And I've had winning months, I've had losing months. I've had some really great stretches doing that. And the problem is just, I don't like it. I prefer high win percentage because if you have low win percentage, high win rate, or sorry, low win percentage, high risk reward, let's assume that you're profitable. You still don't know when your next paycheck is. You don't know when your next payout is. You don't know if you're going to make money today. You don't know if you're going to make money this week. You know you're going to make money at the end of the month or at the end of the year or whatever. But for me, psychologically, I want to know that I'm going to make money most days. I'm going to make money most weeks. I'm going to make money every month of the year. I'm going to make money well, it's irrelevant of the year. We're assuming profitability. It's a lot easier psychologically. I find that it's really easy to keep winning after you're winning. And sometimes losses can spiral and snowball and losing streaks are created. So it's better to never even let losing streaks start and try to win most of your trades. And let's talk about how to do that. But yeah, psychologically, and also what is your goal for trading? Like it might be that you have primary income, trading is a part-time thing, and you're trying to hit a home run to make a nest egg, and that could be fine. For me personally, trading is meant to be my main and only income, my primary income, and it's meant to be a primary income from which I can support multiple people have kids, right, and support them. So it's super important to me that I'm high win rate, and I know that if I'm high win rate, I can make a ton of money even if it's low RR because you get enough capital, you pass enough prop firms. You make a 1R trade and you risk 1% of $1 million, you make $10,000, and if you do that consistently, you make a lot of money. So it's an intention. First is the intention of I'm going to be a high win rate trader. I want to be a high win rate trader. Psychologically, it suits me. I was extremely high win rate, competitive cards, like way super high win rate relative to what was normal. When I play basketball, I like to win. I like to make a high percentage of my shots. When I shoot, I like to win. So it's the same thing with trading. It's just more fun to win. Like it's more enjoyable experience to win. And the brain has a hard time differentiating like a giant win from a small win even. Like if I won a trade, if it feels a little bit better if it's a 3R versus a 2R versus a 1R, but I'm just registering that I won. So that's the argument for is just smooth income. And then also it makes it easier to scale, and I think because if say you win 80% of your trades, like you could risk 2%. Why not? If you have 80% win, and let's assume you have positive expectancy. Say you have 80% win rate, 1RR. Risk 2%, right? But if you're 40% win rate with 2RR, I'm not going to do the math in my head, but it's similar expectancy. But 2%, like you could have some big nasty drawdowns that can cause loss spiraling and also cause for more blown accounts, right? If you have 80% win rate and you risk 2%, it's possible but hard to blow an account. Okay, so that's the intention and the reason. How do you do it? So I'm gonna bust up some myths. These are myths that I had, and they're myths that maybe you have. So I believed that I believed it's possible, but to be high win percentage, you need to trade on the high time frame and take few trades and wait for the best trades and use wide stops and that you trade a lot, it makes it harder to have a high win percentage. And if you trade in the low time frame, it's harder to have a high win percentage. If you have tight stops, it's harder to have a high win percentage. I don't believe all those things to be true anymore. This stretch that I've had, all these winners, I've taken a lot of trades, like 1 to 2 trades a day, and a lot of them were low time frame, and a lot of them had tight stops. So there's a couple things that really helped have a high win percentage, and it wasn't high time frame, it wasn't wider stops. It has been superior pattern recognition and quicker TP. So let's talk about those 2 things. So the first one is pattern recognition. Now, this is hard to do, but this is, my opinion, got to be the number one thing that has to do with win rate. Like your ability to recognize a pattern. What is trading but pattern recognition, right? So much pattern recognition. If you're extremely good at pattern recognition, there's competency, and you have competency, then emotions are much less of a problem. Psychology is much less of a problem, right? A lot of psychology and anxiety and fear is not knowing what the fuck you're doing, right? I don't know what I'm doing, so I feel afraid, right? I'm a loser, so, or not a loser in life, but I'm a losing trader, so I feel afraid. Well, I'm a winning trader with superior pattern recognition. I'm not afraid. I don't mind losing some trades. So pattern recognition. Now, when I say pattern recognition, I mean the ability to look at the charts and say, I recognize this maybe I don't recognize this pattern, so I'm not going to trade it. But ideally, you recognize almost every pattern. Like this looks like a sweep in reverse. This looks like building liquidity under the highs for a breakout. This looks like we're going to pull back and continue. This looks like, what other setups are there? If price gets to this point, it's going to reverse violently, right? That sort of a thing where like, and this is hard to do, right? It's honestly, the psychological stuff is easier than pattern recognition. This takes what? Chart time. It takes years. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of experience in the market. It takes a lot of trades. It takes seeing a lot of things. It takes also categorizing and organizing your brain in such a way. I do have one thing I'm going to share with you that I've been doing, which helps a lot with pattern recognition. It helps speed it up. So I have different categories of trades, and I printed them out on flashcards. I went to CVS, Longs, and printed them out. This one, for instance, this is swing failures. I'm not going to show you exactly, but the first card is the setup where I entered, and the second card is the exit. And these are both every real winning trade that I've taken for the most part, and also back-tested trades. So I'm starting my day now during this win streak, and I'm going through, and I'm looking at, this is what a swing failure looks like. This is what a swing failure looks like. This is what a sweep in reverse looks like. This is the targeting. This is how long it takes. This is what it looks like. I'm doing this at night when I'm suggestible before going to bed. And I'm doing this in the morning before starting my charting day. And I'm looking at different categories. This one is a pullback continuation, pullback into a fair value gap. I'm looking at these, and I'm looking at these. And then I've got breakouts, and I've got a couple different, not a million setups, but a couple different setups. So this is a way to speed up my pattern recognition. But it's a lot of work. I'm going through this stack of cards, which is going to be continuing to expand. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, doing the extra mile. But pattern recognition. So that's why, like, if you have good having good pattern recognition is the biggest thing to having a high win rate, right? Knowing what price is going to do next because you recognize the pattern, right? Knowing what is likely price is going to do next. You can't know for certain, but saying, well, I've seen it, right? And when you do this, by the time I get to the charts, I've looked at so many different setups, and I'm looking at the charts, and like this looks like if the chart looks like a breakout, let me go pull out my breakout setup cards and look at that and say, does that look the same as what I'm seeing, right? And when you have a lot of patterns and you have a lot of setups, this takes time. I'm a couple years into it now, and I'm going to keep adding and getting better and better. But you get to be impatient because you recognize so many patterns that there's multiple trade setups a day, right? You log on, there might be a trade setup almost every day, right? All the time. There's plenty waiting, but you need a lot more patience when you have poor pattern recognition and you only recognize a couple setups and you got to wait a long time for those. But if you have great pattern recognition and you recognize a lot of different setups, you get to be impatient. You also get to be greedy because you get to trade a lot and you get to win a lot and you get to have a high win rate. And then also, there's a lot less fear because you know what to expect. You're going to be in drawdown less too. So the first thing is pattern recognition. And if you have good pattern recognition, what it means is you're going to have a lot more trades where there's a very little drawdown and price is moving in your favor from the beginning. But also clear invalidation of, and you can have tight stops, but like knowing where to get out, what is a safe stop in this scenario. But yeah, if you have really good pattern recognition, there's a lot more chance for price is going to go where I think it's going to go from the start. Now, what goes with the pattern recognition is like the low time frame, because if you have a lot of great, excellent pattern recognition, then you're not limited to high time frame setups. So there's high frequency. Like, I don't just want high win percentage, but relatively high frequency. Like, I want to win a trade every day. That would be my ideal. Maybe 5 days a week, take 2 days off. But it doesn't need to be a lot of time. Set it, forget it, and go. But the other thing, pattern recognition, is having a near TP. Or I will say like maybe a likely take profit, right? So there's a lot of different ways to take profit, but in the past, like I have a tendency towards greed and going for this huge TP. Doesn't get there, price comes back and stops me out, or comes back to break even, or comes back and well, if you have a near TP, like I recognize the pattern, we're probably going to move in this way, and I'm just going to get out quick and take 1%, 2%, whatever it is, or 1R, 1.5R, 2R, right, and just get out rather than trying to hang on for this home run. So much more likely to get there, right? So much more likely. So that's been huge. A lot of my winners have been small, but it started off with the 14 out of 16 winners, like a small, like, fractional win, 0.2R win, 0.25R win, 0.5R win. Then I have a 1R win. Then I have another 1R win. Then I have a 3R win. Then I've got a 2R win. Then I've got a couple more 1R wins. Then I have another 3R win, right? Like, it's still possible to have big wins trading with a high win percentage. And one of the ways, right, there's tools to this is like, let's talk about stop loss management. Say all we care about is win percentage. So if that's true, well, we care about two things: having a fixed starting risk and win percentage. So I'm never going to move my stop loss away from where I started it because I have a fixed risk, right? But if you move your stop, advance your stop, but it's still negative, you just reduce your win percentage, right? So the idea is, the intention, I will not stop out of my trade unless it's a winner or it hits my stop loss. It goes against me, I'm going to wait for stop loss because I want the chance to turn this into a winner. I'm going to wait, right? And once it's in my favor, as going in my favor, I can advance my stop into profit, guarantee a winner. I moved my stop into profit, guarantee a winner, and possibly let the trade run into a big winner, right? So it's possible to, that's one of the ways to have a higher win percentage. Like, there's times where prices come near my stop, I don't stop out, and then it runs in my favor. And then also times where I advance my stop into profit and let it run, and it runs to 3R, 3+R, right? So that is possible to have a high win percentage trading and also still get some high RR trades. But I would say those are the most important things. It's having a wider stop does help, obviously, keeping everything the same and having a wider stop, but I think it's a lot less important than pattern recognition and also near TP. Just getting, because if your TP's too far, it's never gonna make it. And if you're recognizing patterns wrong, you're just gambling or on the wrong side. So, um, yeah, that's my plan and my thoughts on high win percentage, and I love it. I'm super happy with it. I'm super grateful for that, and my intention is to keep it going. If I can win 80% of my trades, take 5 trades a week, win 4 of them, and then scale up my prop firm capital. That's much more of a low stress way to go, and also reliable, like reliable income. You know you're getting paid, you know when you're getting paid, and don't need to worry as much about these huge drawdowns. So that's what it is. Hope you found it useful, and let me know what you think down below. Peace.